I want to say this politely, and I don't want to offend anyone. I don't really want to make anyone mad, but at the same time, I have a point to get across. So, disclaimer. Fuck your results. So, I'm going to share a little story. I remember back in early 2023, I just started working out. I was doing just all bodyweight stuff, push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, those 5, 10, 15, 30-minute like bodyweight workouts at home. You're doing, I'd be doing those at like 6 in the morning, everyone was still asleep. This was at my old house. Me and my brother shared a room, so there's about a 2-foot gap in between our beds, with like single beds with like shelves under them. So we had a 2-foot gap, not even that, maybe a 2.5 foot, probably 2 feet in between the beds, and I could, the whole length of the room, but it was 2 feet was like the walkway. It was all the space we had, and I'd be there at 6 in the morning with my headphones in, my like cheap Kmart headphones in, doing these like 15, 20-minute bodyweight workouts, trying to breathe as quietly as possible to not wake them up, like very beginning push-ups on the floor type of, style of the journey. And I remember going to the school gym. Our school had a gym, and basically they would run it as like you'd sign up for like, when they'd put out like the interest for all the clubs, one of the clubs was like gym club, where for like 3 lunchtimes a week, every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, they'd just get one of the PE coaches to come and open up the weights room, and a bunch of us guys would just go in there and lift weights. And we were all like 13, 14, 15. So we'd go in there, and every Monday, Wednesday, Friday lunch, we'd go in there and work out. And I remember a few months into doing this, when I first went in there, the first day I went in there and did like bench press, my bench PR was 25 kilos. I was 13, and my bench, actually I might have been 12 to be fair. I might have been 12, I don't know. But my bench PR was 25 kilos. And I remember the other guys were in there repping out like 35, 40 kilos, 45 kilos. We get a few months down the line, and I got to a point where I had benched 40 kilos to 1 rep, and after that I couldn't get it. I didn't hit 40 kilos for another year. I could not get 40 kilos the second time. I got 1 rep, and after that didn't get it again for like a year and a half. 40 kilos. And I remember that same day I hit 40 kilos, the other guys in there were going and trying to hit 60. And I think they all failed it, but they were getting like 55 kilos, and then they're going for 60. These are guys my age, like in my class, who I knew. They were smoking me. We've been in that little school gym for the same amount of time. Obviously, I've been working out for a little bit longer. But I was like, they're smoking me, they're way stronger than me. And, we keep training, keep going in there, and I still can't hit 40 kilos, and for whatever reason. And they hit 60, and they are all getting stronger. Like, I remember they were in there deadlifting more than me. All the weights, I was basically the weakest one. Out of all the guys there in that gym, I was pretty much just the weakest one there, out of the group of guys who I knew who went in there. And this was fine. I didn't really care too much, just I'm not lift weights, I can't really change that. But we get to probably 2 years later now, 2.5 years later, and I just started going to the gym that I currently go to. We moved houses, and this was just over 1 year ago. I got my first gym membership. So before this, I'd only ever gone to the school gym. I had some weights at home, like my dumbbells and like a bar, and then I just did bodyweight stuff. Like 80% of my training before last March was just bodyweight stuff. A little bit of weights, a little bit of dumbbells towards the end of later of those 2 years. But for the first year and a half, really, it was basically just all bodyweight stuff. I have videos of me doing like push-ups on the side of the road after work, like in the grass, doing like push-up PRs. Like it's just like broke as shit, couldn't afford no workout gear, just like doing push-ups on the floor type of thing. And I remember I started going to the gym, and I would see videos on my phone because I'd moved across the country, and I would see like on TikTok videos of these guys who I used to like work out with, or I knew from my old school, who I saw them lifting, same weights as me, or 40 kilos, whatever it was, and I'd see them like lifting like a bunch of heavier weights, and I'm still here benching like 55 kilos, 60 kilos, and then now he bench like 90 kilos, or hit like deadlift PRs with like 50 kilos above me, like smoking me out the water, smoking me. And I was like, it didn't really get to me. I didn't really care, because they've been doing all this weightlifting for a year longer than me, and I've been working out, and they've been weightlifting for like 3-4 years. But I was working out, and I had all these things in my head. I'm like, it sort of was annoying, because it's like I remember working out basically with them like 2-3 years ago, and now they're smoking me. Like I just started going to the gym and like weightlifting again consistently after just doing bodyweight stuff, because I worked out from home. And these guys will smoke me. These guys will blow me out of the water. Like these guys were doing like 90 kilo bench and all this sort of stuff. And I'm going to the gym. I started going more consistently. I was still in school, and then I ended up leaving school, and then I went to TAFE, and I left TAFE, and then I started working full time, and blah blah blah. And over the next like 9-10 months, I've gone to the gym, And there's some ups and downs there. Sometimes I'm going 4 times a week, sometimes I'm only hitting twice a week. Eventually I started going every day about a month ago. But now I'm sitting here, and I remember about probably a month ago, I was trying to get my bench meter. I was trying to hit the bench meter and I failed. I think it was like 87.5, something like that. I failed a bench meter. So probably just before I started going every day, maybe 2 months ago. I had failed a bench meter, and I'm in between sets on TikTok on my phone, and I see somehow I accidentally swiped. Like, you know, on TikTok there's like the home page, then you can swipe across from like For You to like friends. As I was scrolling, I accidentally swiped to the friends column. The first video that comes up is a video of this guy who I know from my old school I used to live with. He did like a 6 rep bench press, something like that. And it was the same weight that I had just hit. Not my PR, because I think it was 87.5, but 85 kilos. He was doing like 85 kilos for like, I don't know how many reps, like 6 reps. And I was like, that's cool. I reckon I'm going to catch him. I reckon I'm going to smoke him. And basically what this was saying was like, literally like 2 years ago, these guys were benching double me. I was they're benching 30 for a set. They're repping out 50, 55 for sets, smoking me. And now I've almost caught them, right? And they were doing like I scroll back, it's all the same, listed in the same way, similar things. I almost catch them. And basically the whole moral of this long rant of mine was your results don't matter because everyone's not equal and everyone's path is not the same. There was times where those guys who I used to live with, or guys I went to the gym with, or guys I was sparring with, I mean, we used to do like sparring with my mates, or even guys I used to like run against, all those people I used to sort of work out with in different places, different times, that were smoking me, that were always way stronger than me, now that I'm outlifting. Like there's guys who I know who 2-3 years ago, different group of guys who used to go to the gym, and I wasn't old enough to go to the gym, but we used to like work out a little bit and lift and just talk about the gym or whatever. And they used to be smoking me. There's guys with way better shape than me, way stronger than me, like 6-pack abs, shredded, stronger, like bench pressing like 65 kilos. We were like 14, so that's pretty good. Smoking me in every area of fitness. And now it's like they've sort of fallen off, and I'm a lot bigger than them. I'm benching way more than them. They don't even go to the gym. Don't compare yourself to those people. Don't compare yourself to people around you negatively. Use it as fuel, use it as motivation, use it in a positive way. But don't think that they're just better than you. Don't think that, it's just luck, right? Because there's times where, say for instance, I remember when I was maybe 8, 9 years old, we used to have like ice ball days at school every I don't know, a couple of days a week. The school would sell ice balls for like 50 cents. And I remember there was some of the people in my class were like $5 notes, like $2 coins. They were rich. They were like 9 years old with like $5 note. It was like, if you had a $5 note in that primary school, you were rich. They were like buying everyone ice poles, whatever. And I was like, oh, they're rich, they're so rich. And then it's like you get 4 or 5 years later, we're now in like year 7, year 8, none of them have jobs. I was like the first one to get a part-time job, or one of the first people who I knew who went to my primary school or my school to get a part-time job. And so now I'm the guy who's like buying food, get my mates food, get my girlfriend food, and I'm like 12 or 13, the only one with money. And it's like, if you were comparatively, I was pretty broke, but that young, I had money, no one else had money. And it's like, well, a few years ago, you guys were the ones with all the money, you had $5, you were rich. Now I'm here with like $80 in the wallet, now I'm the rich one. Just like, don't compare yourself to other people in a negative way. Use it as motivation, use it as fuel, but understand that you can lap people. There is people who were smoking me in every area, whether it be socially, fitness, strength, money, whatever, smoking me a few years ago, even a year ago, last year, 6 months ago, who I have run circles around. Not in a bad way, people who I know, who I like, but it's just a way of, everyone's journey's different. There is times your friends will be smoking or something and you're making no progress. Maybe you're all trying to make money and for some reason this one guy is just making a bunch of money. He tried this thing, he made like $2,000 off this crypto coin. I know a guy who made like $1,200 off some crypto coin a few months ago. And this was when we were all trying to, me and a couple of mates were trying to do crypto, and, pump meme coins and stuff. Not pump, but like trying to make money on meme coins. And he made like $1,200 on one coin. I was like, oh, that's crazy. And it's like, well, since then he's lost all that money. And it's like, you should have invested in some of that, bro. Like, you should have bought some Bitcoin or something. But like, I'm sitting here laughing about these things. I'm not laughing as it's like, haha, you lost it. It's just sort of like, you take it so seriously. You go, oh no, they're better than me, they're ahead of me. And it's such a big thing at the time. And then, you get a bit down the track and you catch them or you get past them, you're like, it's life, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't take it so seriously. It's not going to last forever. Nothing lasts forever. So enjoy the journey while you're on it. And yeah. Sometimes you are behind people, sometimes you're in front of them. That's just the way the world is. Don't hate on people because of the results they've gotten. Yeah, just the results don't matter, because in the end it all changes. I'm not saying the things you've achieved don't matter. I'm just saying if you personally are looking at other people who have more than you and you're pissed off at them because they have more than you, they're winning more than you, don't. That's just a negative thing to do. That's just a bad way to view the world, and it makes you a worse person, because in your head you're hating on them for the things they have, which are the same things you want. You're hating on that guy because he has more money than you, and you're like mad about it. You're not going to get any money because you, in your head, you're doing it. Money's a bad thing, whatever it is, right? Don't do that. Don't be like, oh, I can't believe he's got more money, whatever. And it just sort of, you get angry towards people. The results don't matter. Viewing other people's results in a negative light because you don't have the things you want is a bad way to go through the world, bad way to go through life. Because in the end, if you do the right things, you could basically smoke everyone. See you tomorrow. Check the link in the bio. I know that was a long 11-minute rant of me going in circles, but if you enjoyed, check the bio for the link to my school community. Subscribe, leave a like on the video, comment, and I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.